My name is Tom Seaman. I'm an assistant master electrician for our school's musical this year, which is Once Upon a Mattress. And this time, I guess I'm giving you guys a tour of the catwalks, which is basically the heart and soul of lighting, right next to the lighting board itself. This is what we call the house cats. Up here is where all of your front lighting comes from. So anything you see that's shining on an actor's face or on a set piece comes from up here. And generally, if I had to rate the temperature up here, it's usually somewhere in between like 76 to 80 degrees, depending on what portion of the musical. Our school has 2 house catwalks, and we'll walk to both simply because we can. Right now, we are set up for the musical itself. So there's a bunch of lights that are hung. We have a ton of auxiliary ones over here in case things die, which unfortunately is commonplace around here. And as you can see, there's a lot happening up here. And a lot of these lights actually, you'd think would be LED, but they're actually run by halogen bulbs. So if we take one of these out real quick, let's see what we can do. So if you look, don't touch the bulb though, that's a bad idea. You can see that it's just a halogen bulb attached to a series of reflectors, and then the barrel itself, which is responsible for directing light. These smaller ones are the same concept, except they're very finicky, so I'd rather not open one up if I don't have to. The next location, on the way to our final location, will be the cheeks of the theater. There we go. The cheeks are responsible for more side lighting, and then any additionally required front lighting. So weird side angles and just general lighting that comes from one direction or the other. Now, the interesting thing with the cheeks is that a lot of what we do miscellaneously with lights is done through the cheeks. And fun fact, as a little side note, you can climb all the way up these. And in fact, I can do my entire cheek talk from all the way up here. Cool. So if you've ever been to one of our concerts, you'll notice that there are little light designs on the walls of the auditorium. Those are done through these cheeks. And if I step down for a second, I can actually pinpoint exactly which one it is. This light down here is responsible for the design that happens all the way over there. So if we open this up and reveal what we call the gobo, it has our Lakes logo. So, and of course, with the physics of light flips every image around, so we have to put it in upside down. It just goes in, we lock it in place, and once we turn the light on, we have light. So the next place we're gonna go is the stage catwalks. And that's responsible for most, if not all, of the top lighting, as well as rigging. So right now, we are up in the stage catwalks. And this is mostly responsible, like I just said, for any top lighting that we do. Additionally, up here, we've begun to phase in, yeah, watch your step, it's a little steep. Up here, we've begun to phase in LED lighting. So instead of having halogen bars like we do here, we start to get things that are more controllable. We can change the color of these instantaneously, and we can actually daisy chain both their power and their signal. So instead of using multiple connections to the board, all we have to do is hook in one cable into one port, which is right here, and we can power an entire string of lights. Additionally, up here, we have what is called cyc lights, or if you're getting really fancy, their full name, which are cellador lights. Or cyc lights primarily function with this white mask up here, known as just the cyc, and basically any background color will come from these lights down here. Notice how they're a little different than a normal par that I want to show you guys, and that is the light booth itself. The very heart, well, I guess the very brain of the lighting operations that we have as a team of lighting techs. That was so terribly spoken. The purpose of the booth is simply to program shows so that we don't have to change every light individually as the scene goes by. We can do it by cue, which I think maybe you'll learn about. But in the booth we have what is called the lighting board. And primarily what the lighting board does is it literally controls every light in our arsenal. So, let me open this up hot quick. All right, so welcome to the booth. Welcome to the light booth. So in the board, there's multitudes of functions. This is how we control every light in the system. So this looks really confusing, but it's actually quite easy. This is basically our control panel. We can see what's on and what's off. We have on this side where cues would go if we had any cues. However, right now, since we haven't started really building the show, we don't have any cues yet, so no cues will show up. We have patching, which basically assigns everything kind of its numbers, gives everything its identity. And lastly, we have these cool things called subs, and when you program lights to them, you can basically just operate them using a slider. Let's see what it does. So, for example, if we wanted to change a light, all we'd have to do is click on a few and take a few out. Now you can't see it, oh, there it is. Sometimes you won't be able to see a difference, but sometimes you can see a difference. So I'm operating almost an entire catwalk worth of lights. We're going to drop these down to like, and we'll just take them. That works for us. And that, I think, about sums up the light tour. And I think subnote, I'm responsible for rigging as well when we get there. But I think we'll save that one for another day.